Agama. I am a mommy, a wifey, and all things positivity. That is an intro I use quite a lot. I use it on TikTok, I use it on YouTube, and this is the first ever installment of what I like to call Avenue Her. So I just wanted to give you guys an introduction of who I am before we get into what Avenue Her is. And I thought I should focus on my intro, where I basically say that I am a mommy, I am a wifey, and all things positivity. So, mommy. So, I basically am a mom to two toddlers. I have a almost 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. My daughter turns 2 in December, and they're 1 year apart basically. And it's one of those roles that coming into it, I was extremely nervous and curious about the type of mom God has made me out to be and the type of mom that I wish to be. And then I also got married to the love of my life. My husband is an architect, but he's also so much more than that. He is an artist. He has got like one of the most beautiful hearts I've ever seen. He's hardworking, and he's one of the first people in my life, one of the few people in my life who I think have shown me true, safe, unconditional love. And a lot of who I am today stems from feeling safe enough and feeling loved enough by him to be able to bloom into who I want to be and who I want to look back at my life and be proud that I have become. And then there is all things positivity. So that line actually comes from a massive part of myself growing up. In every area of my life, I feel like I have very intentionally been a positive person, even in times where there should be no reason for me to be positive. I decided to be positive, and looking back, even in situations where I wasn't successful, even in situations where positivity wasn't rewarding at the end, I still felt good about the fact that I was positive. I've never regretted looking back on anything with positivity. And so that's just what I carry with me. I carry that with me from the time I was young and into my now adulthood and motherhood and wifehood. So yeah, that's where all things positivity comes from. Avenue Her for me is a concept I have actually had at the back of my mind for, I would say, about, I want to say 2 years now. 2 years. So yeah, about the age of my daughter. So that's about 2 years. I woke up one day and I realized that the last 2 years of my life, me being pregnant, or the last 3 years of my life, me being pregnant with both my son and my daughter, were times in my life that were probably the most difficult, the most challenging, the most daunting, the most painful, but simultaneously the most glorious and the most rewarding. And the whole point is that I felt everything in the last 3 years of my life. I felt the lows, I felt the highs, but I was present in every moment and I was living through every moment, which means it took me having to give birth twice to learn what it is to live in the moment, to learn what it is to be present, and to be allowed to feel and to allow myself, more than to be allowed, but to allow myself to feel both sadness, both hurt, but also happiness and contentment and peace. Hit me. I can't live my life any other way. I can't, which means that even if Avenue Her is a success, even if I fall flat on my face 3 million times before I am proud again, or before I live in the good moments of Avenue Her. I cannot live in a place where I am dormant with my life again. I cannot be dormant. I would rather be a failure than be a dormant person in my life. And so Avenue Her was born, and so here I am sitting today recording the first installment, hoping for an amazing ride, but okay with whatever God has in store for me at the end of this journey. And I hope that I can take you guys down this road with me, down our little avenue, and that we can, achieve self-love, self-appreciation, um, self-determination, and self-empowerment throughout this entire journey together. So I hope that I can gift that to anyone who's willing to give an ear, and I hope that I can gift pride to myself further down in this journey as well, where I can look back on Avenue Her with a sense of pride in the work that I've put in and in how intentional I've been with every episode. The title of this episode is Confidence Isn't Always Comfortable, and maybe that's okay. so, um, this was a thought that hit me when I was looking back at my life. So the past 2 years of my life, which I'll speak about quite a lot because again, it's been massive part of my life. But after birthing my kids, I experienced a low hit in self-confidence. I was very lost in self-identity. I was, low in confidence. I think that's the biggest one, is that I had no confidence in myself anymore. Everything about me had changed. My body, my hair, my shoe size, my face, everything about me was just not who I recognized it to be. And I thought to myself, well, how do I give birth once again to a new version of myself that I love and appreciate and that I am content in living in every day? Everything is different, and the changes that come with motherhood are so demanding. Some of them are so permanent or so hard to shed, i.e. stretch marks in places that you never thought you'd get stretch marks. Your shoes just fitting differently, clothes fitting you differently, altering the shape of your body slightly or quite a lot in some other cases. And recovery is never an easy journey. So how am I now supposed to get this confidence back that I feel like I once had? And so I started practicing or trying to get my confidence back. I was, looking good or trying to make myself look good by, wearing clothes that I thought looked good on me. And all that stuff really does work. It does. Like the makeup, it works, but to a certain extent, because once all of that is off, I still felt empty again. I still felt like I had nothing, no confidence in myself. I cannot look in the mirror and be proud of who I'm looking at internally, feel content. And if I can't be confident, I can't walk out of the door. I can't do anything without a sense of confidence in myself. And so the work started. I had to look back. I said, what are these moments in my life where I can look back and I know that I felt the most confident? And maybe if I look back, I can hopefully gain something. I can gain back the confidence that I once had. I can bring it back from those moments in my life where I was really confident and somehow channel it into this time. And that whole time, until I started looking back, I only then realized that I was expecting confidence to be this warm feeling, this warm hug, this warm feeling that's supposed to set into my body. And then boom, I am just this confident, amazing woman again. And then when I actually looked back and I looked closely, I realized that so many moments where I was confident or where I had to be confident in myself or where I chose to be confident in myself, so many of those moments were uncomfortable. They were cringe. They were brutally demanding and, non-rewarding or unrewarding at times. And then I thought, oh my word, confidence doesn't always have to be comfortable. Or confidence isn't always comfortable. It is not a comfortable place to be. You may look back and think you were glad for being confident because it took you from stage A to stage B and C. But maybe during that process, it wasn't always the most comfortable place to be. I was 5 years old and I was looking at the pool that my friends were swimming in. My grandmom basically worked at a Ichaliti, which is basically she was a domestic worker. We had gone to visit her, or I had gone to visit her for the day. And so here I am staring at this pool. I'm only 5, so I can't swim, I can't do anything, but I am still excited, Before you know it, I'm in the water. Her little sister has pushed me in. I'm in the deep end. Excuse my daughter, she's got the flu. I'm in the deep end and I can't swim. So I am drowning at this point, It was scary to say the least. It was scary, And I just remember the moment, after I think I had gotten up, I was able to get up out of the water and take one deep breath in before I went down again. And I decided to open my eyes in the water because I had no choice. And I just remember seeing my grandmom's hands. She can't swim either. And I just remember seeing her hands flap in the water to kind of, I guess, direct me to say, this is where I am. And I remember, resuming to try and attempt to swim to her. And I'm young, it was a long time ago, but I know I somehow got to her because I just felt her hands grab me out of that water. And, I was hysterical for a moment. But after the hysteria, I was then in need, itching to learn how to swim. I could not let anything conquer me like that again. I could not let anything, make me feel so powerless ever again. And so that whole year, I remember begging my parents for swimming lessons. I chose my primary school based on how big the swimming pool was. Because the bigger the better. I remember asking my teachers if the pool is deep because I almost drowned in a deep pool, so I need to know how to swim in a deep pool. And I think looking back now, that was my first lesson at confidence. The fact that confidence can be born from negative circumstance, that confidence can be born from fear, and that I think bravery and confidence, I think they share a mother or they share a father. I think they're step siblings because a lot of people speak about how in order to overcome fear, you have to be brave. But in order to be brave, I think you have to be confident. I think that somewhere along the pathway of getting to bravery, you have to pass confidence or carry confidence with you. So I think that they are somehow together and that they can be born from fear and they can be born from negative circumstance. So I take on my swimming and I get accepted to the school that I wanted with the gigantic pool. And from that moment, I remember asking when swimming lessons are. And I just started going to swimming lessons. I swam at aftercare. I just swam. I took every day. I was practically swimming almost every day for every lesson that was, every extramural that was available. And in grade 3, I met a girl. So I had obviously now been swimming for 3 years, or practicing how to swim for 3 years. And now I'm quite good. Like, I know how to do the freestyle, the breaststroke, the backstroke. I'm participating in galas. I know how to swim now, and I'm thinking I'm, good now. Like, obviously, I'm practicing so much. And then grade 3 comes, and I meet this amazing woman, or this amazing girl at the time. Her name was Caitlin, and she was a proper swimmer. Like, I think she did club swimming, which I only found out about much later in my life. But she did club swimming, and she was competitive. And so the swimming team coach personally asks her if she can join the swimming team. At this point, all I know is that swimming team, you're only allowed to try out for it when you are in grade 4. But here she was, this girl who was asked to join in grade 3. And at second break, I'd go and watch them practice when when the D&D gala was about to start. If you're in Durban, I'm sure you know about what the D&D gala is. But basically, all the girls' schools, or all the schools, participate in the gala in Kings Park, and yeah, it's like a big thing. So here I am at second break watching her and all the other girls practice. And then I think around that time, I also realized another lesson about confidence. Yes, I was confident enough to take this thing that almost drowned me and to be good at it, and I got to a point where I was good at, all the strokes, even though I wasn't the best, but I was confident enough to go for it. And at that moment, I realized that confidence isn't always rewarding. Well, or not at that moment when I was, in grade 3, but now when I look back, I realize that confidence is not always rewarding, and it is very, very seldomly instantly rewarding. The following year comes, and I'm in grade 4, which means I can finally try it for the swimming team. And that's exactly what I do. I ask the teacher if I can try out. And when I go to my first tryout, there is a different teacher who's doing the tryout. She doesn't know me. And oh my God. So we're all doing the strokes, and I am traumatized by how fast these swimmers are, by how strict the training is. I'm out of breath. Like, you could have seen me. I'm out of breath. I can't get out of the pool. I have water in my nose. You know that feeling when you've just got water in your nose? My swimming cap fell off. Like, I am shocked at how I don't have goggles, so my eyes are red. I'm botching the tryouts. And to the point where the teacher literally kicks me out of the water. She's so irritated at me at this point that she's not even feeling sorry for me. She's just annoyed. Who is this bug of a child that's trying to be what she's not? That's trying to be good at something that she's just not good at. She has no place here. She has no business being here. But here I was. She kicks me out of the pool, and I run to the bathroom, and I lock myself in one of the toilets, and I just cry. Like, I just cry. Everything hurts, first of all. Okay, I'm bruised. I got a scratch somewhere during the whole process. I flipping scratched myself. I'm pissed. There's water in my flipping nose. Like, life sucks right now. And I'm crying hysterically. I'm crying. And I just realized I can't leave this bathroom anymore, because leaving this bathroom means I have to directly pass the swimming pool where all of the swimming team girls are. And that's shameful. I'm too ashamed to leave this bathroom right now. It's not happening. I'm not leaving. I'm not moving an inch. Okay, this is a safe place for me, this bathroom where I can cry, this little toilet where I can cry, and I will stay here until tomorrow if I have to avoid those girls seeing me crumble. And that's actually exactly what I did. I stayed in the bathroom stall And the girls came out of swimming practice, they changed. I could hear them all laugh, and not at me, they were just like laughing and just doing their own thing, and, just being young girls talking about swimming. And they changed, and then they went back home, And then only did I get the courage to walk out when I felt like there was no one else there. There was no one else in the bathroom stall. There was no one else by the pool. I could finally leave peacefully. Confidence is definitely not something you can portray. It's not something you can fake. It's not something you can reimagine just for that moment in time. It has to be built. It has to be built. It has to, almost like a tree, be planted with strong roots, and it needs to be able to grow in a safe environment or in an optimal environment. And then it needs to be able to withstand things and moments when you do fall on your face, weathers where things are not working out for you, times when there is no reason for you to be confident, but you are. It needs to be strong enough to be able to withstand that. So for 2 years after that, I could not swim. I could not try out. I wanted nothing to do with swimming. My confidence was, just on the floor when it came to swimming. But I started loving basketball and netball, and I was really good at that. I was vice captain for basketball in my primary school, so I was really, really good at that. And I also, again, realized that there is a place, there's safe places where your confidence can be built, by the things that you are good at that moment in time, or the things that do feed your confidence in that moment in time. And it's okay to have those things, and you should have those things to build your confidence. In fact, they should build your confidence to an almost imaginary level where you're so lost in how great you are that you need that safe place where you just think you're so great and you're so amazing. You need that place where your confidence can go crazy, where you can be free, where you can be great at that thing that you do, that little thing that you do, that little place where you are one of the good ones, where you are enough. And then you also need to have a place where your confidence goes to be challenged, where your confidence goes to be disappointed, because your confidence, like, again, a root or like a tree, it needs to know how to survive in different conditions so that it can keep you going for a long time. So now, 2 years after that, 2 years after I didn't touch swimming at all, I asked the teacher if I can try out again. This time I think I'm in grade 6. I want to say I'm in grade 6. I asked the teacher if I can try out again. She doesn't even remember me. She says, yes, sure, you can try out. I try out and I make it. I'm not the best swimmer there at all, okay? There are probably 7 girls in front of me that are way better swimmers than I am, but I make it, and it's everything in me, because I just remember going home feeling so excited, but about the fact that I have finally made it into the swimming team that, made me cry real tears for years, that the swimming team that traumatized me to the point where I did not want anything to do with squat swimming for 2 years. I finally made it. I did that. Which brings me to my next lesson about confidence. In that moment in time, I wasn't looking at anyone else. I wasn't looking next to me. I wasn't looking at the fastest girl. I was just looking at myself, which now I see that confidence needs to be based on yourself. It needs to be personal. It needs to be based on your own goals. It needs to be based on your own perspective. This is good for me. Even if it's not good for the person next to me. Making the swimming team is obviously not rewarding for the person who's already in the swimming team. They have other goals. But don't look next to you at what their goals are and that they have done better than you or that they got there before you did, because that has nothing to do with your perspective. It has nothing to do with your journey. It has nothing to do with, your own confidence and what has brought you to this point in your life. That's a lesson that was tough to learn or tough to stick to, because in high school I had a moment where I had to relearn that lesson again about, forgetting who's next to me and purely being content in what I have achieved and what my work has given me or rewarded me with. So, in conclusion, there have been very few moments in my life where confidence was rewarding or where confidence felt like this warm hug or this warm, fuzzy feeling. Because in a lot of times, confidence took a lot for me to be confident, and in many different things, and many different things that I've tried, and many different avenues that I've explored, it took a lot for confidence to grow within me. And it might be taking a lot for you too, for confidence to be growing in you, whether it's something you're only now figuring out, whether it's something where you've been through something that deterred your confidence, or whether you've just been slowly trying to build your confidence up for a very long time now. Just know that it's okay that it doesn't feel great all the time, that it doesn't feel comfortable all the time, and be okay with that uncomfortability, because eventually, eventually, you're so glad you did it. Eventually, you are so proud of the fact that you were confident. But it's only after. Very seldomly is it immediately. So that brings me to the conclusion of episode 1, or the first installment of Avenue Her. I hope that at the end of this episode, I convinced you a little bit to consider subscribing to my channel and to help me reach 1,000 subscribers. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed. I appreciate it tons. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see you guys on the next one. Comment down below with anything that's on your mind. If you had a thought this week, I really do want Avenue Her to be a safe place for all of us. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next episode of Avenue Her. We'll go down that road together when it comes.